Every year, that was a national holiday.
Wow.
Every year we did something cool on February 13th for 7 straight years. You know, whether it's go to dinner, you know, just do fun things. One year I had her be a ball girl for the Knicks, although she hated it. I did that more for my childhood dream. Yeah. She hated it. She liked the Knicks, but she hated that. She hit with a basketball by J.R. Smith and got knocked out.
What? Got knocked out?
Yeah, she retired.
He was off the Henny.
Wow.
Yeah, he shot a half-court shot during like an hour and a half before the game.
Yeah.
He shot it really high. And
JR was off the Henny, man.
And it hit my sister in the head.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she retired because she didn't want to do it.
He didn't sign a jersey or something for her?
I'm not going to get into that. He did not.
Oh.
And my sister, to say the least, my sister's ball girl career ended pretty quick.
Yeah.
She did go back out when they announced the starting lineup. She was next to the players and all. And she liked that. Yeah. But she did not want to go near a basketball. So every year for 7 years, we celebrated on February 13th. It was a very, very special day.
What is that day? What do you do that day now?
Now that day is a very difficult day.
Yeah.
Because it's you know, that was the day we celebrated, and then, you know, the cancer ended up coming back. So, you know, it's funny when in the middle of her second brain cancer, it was like early February, and G said, "Are we celebrating this year on February 13th?" And I was like, honestly, G, we can't, but we're going to have a new date. Of course, that new date never happened, but like I was like, we're going to get a new date, G. And she was like, all right, cool. She was always so motivated. And then I guess, you know, then it was October 2019.
Yeah.
She's in remission now, 7.5 years. The one thing with my sister was that, like, if she sneezed the wrong way, I had to call the hospital. So in remission, you're always going to checkup still. You're always having, you have an MRI. I'd say the first 3 or 4 years, MRI 3-4 times a year. Then maybe it's 1 or 2 a year. You're still having constant doctor's appointments, stuff like that. So, you know, like I said, if G sneezed the wrong way, I got to call Eileen, our nurse practitioner. Yo, G sneezed the wrong way. Oh, get her in for an MRI. You know, so you always had to be cautious.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm healthy, so like I could be sick in bed for a week and no one's really, you know, you're not really that worried.
Yeah.
But G, you got to be extra cautious. So now it's October 2019, and it was a Sunday night. The Yankees lost in extra innings to the Astros. I went upstate the night before, hung out with some friends I hadn't seen in a while. Some funny stuff happened upstate. So I get back to the Bronx Sunday evening. I was like, yo, G, some funny shit happened upstate. And G was a night owl. I was not. So G was like, what happened, Aunt? What happened? And I said, I'll tell you in the morning. I'll take you to breakfast. She's like, all right, cool. So I knock out, most nights I knocked out on my couch, and G would be up till 2, 3 in the morning watching TV. Wow. And then G would wake me up, then we'd go to bed. She'd go to her room, I go to my room. Same thing happened on that Sunday night. G wakes me up at 2, 3 in the morning. She goes to her room, I go to my room. Now about 2 hours later, I'm sound asleep. I'm tired. I was upstairs the night before. I had some fun. G walks to my bedroom, and she's like, Aunt, I feel funny. So to be honest, I'm kind of cranky. Like, why you feel funny? What do you mean you feel funny? Yeah. She's like, I don't know. I just feel funny. I think I want to go to urgent care. And I said, I don't. And also, mind you, G always felt something for 7 years. It was always, and she had every right to. You know, it was always my head hurt. She had hip surgery in 2013. So it was always like my head hurt, my hip hurt, my back hurt. My this hurt, my nose hurt, my ear hurt. So like her saying she felt weird in the middle of the night and wanted to go to urgent care, to be honest, was another moment of G just not feeling well. Yeah. So I was like, well, G, it's 4 in the morning and I don't think urgent care is 24 hours. I was like, do you need to go to the hospital? I'm in half asleep. She's like, I don't think so. I said, all right, well, go back to bed. And then if it's, you know, if you feel weird at 8 in the morning, we'll go to urgent care. All right, Aunt, cool. I knock right back out. All of a sudden, my phone's ringing. I'm like, who the fuck's calling me? I look, and it says my sister. She's in the next room, which shows how tired I was. I was in a deep sleep. Yeah. I run to, I basically get up, run to the next room, just 2 steps. And I said, yo, G, you good? What's the deal? I'm always kind of a hard ass on her, in a funny way. Yeah. Like, G, what's up? What's up? And I can't get up. Can't get up? Like, G, get the fuck up. Get up. And I can't. And then I know she starts slurring her words. And my grandmother had a stroke in front of me when I was in 9th grade. But my grandmother was a grandmother. Like, not saying strokes are supposed to happen, but like it's way more common for someone in their 70s to have a stroke. Children don't have strokes. Rare. I mean, you're very rare, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, she's acting just like my grandmother. I'm like, fuck it. I called 911 right away. I said, you need to get here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, gee, stay there. We got this. I remember the first thing I did was I jumped in the shower. I kept the door open. I jumped in the shower. I said to myself, this is about to be a long day. So let me throw on some clean clothes. By the time I got in the shower, the paramedics were there. They pulled me aside. They said, like, does she do drugs or anything? I said, no, not at all. They're like, well, she's having a stroke. I'm like, what? So rush her to the hospital. First place we went was they bring her to the closest one, which is Einstein in the Bronx. And at that point, they were, they said, thank God I got her in time with the stroke. Had it been a few more hours later, she could have died right away. So anyway, we get to the hospital. And like, where's your main hospital? I said, New York Presbyterian. Okay, it's only 20 minutes away. Do you want her transferred there? I said, absolutely. Go to New York Presbyterian. We're a Presbyterian now. It's like 8 in the morning now. Only 8, 9 in the morning. I mean, so much just happened since 4 a.m. Yeah. So now we're in Presbyterian and we're in the adult hospital right now. And it felt like there was 100 doctors in a room. Right now she's basically unconscious. And they grabbed me and said, listen, Anthony, you need to go to the waiting room. So they bring me to the weight room, about, 5. And I remember I'm in the weight room and I'm hysterical. I am just bawling my ass out. And this older Hispanic woman just came and she just held me. She's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Even though she had no clue what I was crying about. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, a nurse or a doctor comes and finds me. Like, Anthony, your sister needs brain surgery. So I'm like, okay, like next week? And they're like, now. Like, you need to sign like a DNR. I'm like, brain, like now? And at this point, nobody in my family knows anything. Everything happened so fast. I'm like, brain surgery? I'm like, yeah. I remember I said, do whatever the fuck you have to do to just keep her fucking alive. You got it. Sign the paperwork. And remember, I texted my uncle and I just said, call me. I didn't say like what happened. I was like, just call me. And he was up late watching the game too. So we're all big Yankee fans. He must have, so now G goes into surgery about 9 a.m. My uncle must have called me about 10. He's like, he's all fucking joyful and shit. He's like, hey, what's up? How was upstate? And I was like, you need to get to the hospital. G had a stroke. He's like, what? So he comes down to the hospital. G's in surgery. So I left the hospital just to go for a walk. I met one of my best friends. My friend Jason lives right up the street from the hospital. So while G was in surgery, the people at the hospital were like, hey, go for a walk, get out of here. It's going to be 3 or 4 hours. So Jason comes and meets me. We go up to his crib, just have some lunch, and then finally went back to the hospital like 3, 4 o'clock. Surgery was over. She was completely unconscious. They said the surgery went well. Like they saved her life, And so now it's about midnight. My uncle left already, just me and my sister. It's midnight. All the tubes are in her. And I remember that I was going to stay the night. And I remember one of the nurses and doctors like, hey, Anthony, go home. Come back in the morning. Like, go home. We got some sleep. I was like, nah, I can't leave her. Nah, just go home. So I did. So I got 10 years history with the hospital. So I went home, came back in the morning. She probably woke up a day or two later. And her whole left side of her body was paralyzed. Wow. And so now, but she was in great spirits. Yeah. She was in amazing spirits.
And that says a lot about who she was.
Yeah.
And why the world resonated a lot with who she was.
So I'm thinking it's just going to be this stroke. So it's a major hiccup in life, but a year from now, 10 months from now, she'll be walking again and the stroke will be a thing of the past. So we're trying to figure out, where's she going to go to rehab? Is she going to go this place, that place? And now Eileen is like, we have to do MRI on her brain. I'm like, fuck. Like I knew. And even though I know nothing about cancer causing the stroke, but now I do. Yeah. But I was like, something's going to be there. I knew. So now they said they couldn't do the MRI till her brain, the swelling goes down from the surgery. Finally, the swelling goes down about not for like 10 days. They finally do the MRI. They do the MRI on like a Thursday. It's kind of funny how history repeated itself on this story, by the way. So keep a note here with my uncle in a bizarre way. So they do the MRI on Thursday. I'm there, blah, blah, blah. So now Friday, I told G that week, I said, I'll see you every day, but Friday and Saturday, I'm super busy. I'm hosting an event at the Barclays Center for the Knicks-Nets game.
Yeah.
70 plus Knicks fans I'm bringing.
Wow.
Saturday night, I'm hosting for the home opener at the Garden. So I said, Friday and Saturday, I literally might only pop in and see you for 5 minutes. You know, call me whenever, but the next 2 days, you may not see me that much. Cool, no problem, Ant. Do what you got to do. So now it's Friday evening, and I rented out a bar across the street from the Barclays Center to have a pregame party with Knicks fans. So I did the MRI like Thursday evening. So I didn't know if we'd get the results Friday or Monday. So now, again, kind of the way history repeated itself, I'm at the bar Friday night. I'm super stressed. You know, G just had this stroke. We're waiting on MRI results. And now my uncle calls me like 4:45, 5 o'clock. What's up? Literally 9 years later. And he's like, got the results of the MRI. And I was like, all right, what's up? Would you believe it? 9 years later, he said the same thing. I'm not talking on the phone. Now this time, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. You can laugh. It's funny. Yeah. This time,
it's not even funny. It's just culture. It's like no matter, even though you've been through this, it's like it's who he is.
Yeah. Right. So now this time, I'm 9 years older. The first cancer, I was in charge, but not the way I was in charge 9 years later. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you.
You know, I'm like, motherfucker, what happened? And he goes, they found a cancer. Now, we didn't know how bad it was. He just goes, they found cancer again. And I said, all right, don't tell G. I'll tell her Sunday. I said, because tonight and tomorrow I'm too busy. So now I go back to the party. I had that phone call outside.
Damn.
I go back to the party. I'm fucking hysterical. I remember a fan came up to me because they all knew about the stroke.
Yeah.
Like, Ant, are you okay? And I don't even know who it was. It was just a fan that came to the event that night. And I go, I'm hysterical. I'm like, they found the results of the MRI and it's not good. And he was like, you know, we got you. We got your back. So, you know, the Knicks, of course, lost in the final seconds.
Damn.
Kyrie Irving hit a jumper to win the game. Saturday, same thing. I'm super busy. I pop in the hospital for like 2 minutes. Like, yo, G, what's up? I got opening night tonight, but I will be I'll be back, you know, tomorrow. I'll spend the whole day with you Sunday. So I told my uncle, I don't even know if he went on Saturday either. I was just like, you know, don't say anything to her. I'll tell her Sunday. So now it's Sunday, and it's me, my uncle, and G in the room, and I was the predominant voice, and I'm like, you know, they found the cancer. They found cancer again in your brain, but we did this 9 years ago. We're going to do this again. I was hysterical, but G was like, okay.
Soldier.
She's like, okay, Ant. All right, cool. So now I didn't know how bad. We didn't know the type of cancer it was yet. I just thought it was the same brain cancer that she beat back in 2010 to 2012.
Yeah.
So I get a call from Eileen Sunday night. Anthony, we need to have a meeting tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Okay, I'm there. So I wake up Monday morning. I went to work out at the gym before I went to the hospital. And honestly, I was in a good mood. I mean, good enough mood you can be for the situation.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know,
got you.
And I'm just
Positive.
like, because I knew it was about to be a long year again.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we did it 10 years ago. This time's going to be a little harder because she can't walk. But fuck it, we out. Like, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
She beat it before, we'll beat it again. I get to the hospital, and I'm in a chipper mood. I'm smiling, I'm happy. G was in a great mood too. You know, what are we gonna eat for lunch later? Like, we're in a good mood. We gotta have this meeting first. So our main doctor, Dr. Garvin, was away at a conference, I believe in London. So somebody was kind of like taking his place for the meeting, although he works there too. I forgot his name. But so now Eileen is walking towards me, and Eileen's very chipper, like very rambunctious, bubbly personality.
Yeah.
She's like, hello, Anthony. I was like, what's up, Eileen? How are you? She's like, we gotta start this meeting. I'm just like, what the fuck? So now in the meeting was Eileen and this other doctor. He spoke, and I said this in the Humans of New York story, and this is not a joke. He spoke and delivered his words just like Christopher Walken.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man, it was weird.
Yeah.
So now he starts the meeting. He's like, you know, thank you for being here. It was me. So my sister did not wanted to be in the meeting, and I said, gee, you're not allowed in the meeting. And then Eileen was like, Anthony, she's 20. She's allowed to be if she wants.
Oh, damn.
And I said, all right, G. So now the meeting starts. And this is where my body got hot. So the guy, you know, Christopher Walken starts talking. He's like, you know, thank you for being here. And we went through the MRI. And we found a brain cancer. So I'm thinking it's the same one as 10 years ago. And we're just going to beat it again. And he's like, this cancer is very, very serious. And when he said very serious, that's when I was like, my body got hot and I ran out of the room. And I just started like, well, right before I ran out of the room, my sister actually said, has anybody ever beat this cancer? And he said, I'm afraid not. Mm-hmm. And that's when I ran out of the room and I punched a wall. I was hysterical crying. And, Eileen came running after me. And then the doctor came out too. And I remember as I was hysterical, I said, what's the life expectancy? And he said, I'm afraid about 9 months. And I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
And Eileen was like, get back in there with her. Get back in there with her. I get back in there with G. And I'm just like, I got you. Whatever you need, I got you. And G was like, I just want lunch. She's not even crying. She's like, I just want lunch. I went and got her lunch. And I called like 5 people outside. I was gone for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And G was blowing up my phone. Where the fuck are you? Where's my lunch? And we fought it though. Like we did radiation all of December. Mm-hmm. I brought her to a second opinion at Sloan, but Sloan said they wouldn't have done anything different. So we didn't go to Sloan. Like, there was no point. We did all we could. And then, she passed on August 29th, 2020. And she never gave up. She never quit. The last 3 months of her life, she never got out of bed once, but she never complained. Yeah. All she wanted was some pizza or some salami. She never complained. And even, I had my back hurt a lot that summer. And if I was in the room, I'm just giving you one of many examples of how amazing and selfless she was. If she noticed I was limping, she would call the nurses on the thing. Could you bring me a heat pack and a cold pack? Sure, G, what's wrong? Well, Anthony's sore.
Wow.
She's dying. And she's like, Anthony's sore.
Yeah.
But she fought it. We never spoke about death once. Because we always talked about, what we're going to do when she got back home. But obviously, I knew she was never going to go back home after, she went back to the hospital for a final time in June of 2020. And then she passed away August 29th. So we got to be home for a few months, but it was during COVID. I don't even want to talk about that stuff. It's too blah. But she fought to the very end, And then when she passed away, I wasn't even in the room. I left the room for 5 minutes to go outside. And when I got back to the room, I was almost mad at her. I was like, how could she pass without me being here? And the nurses and doctors were like, who they've known us 10 years.
Yeah.
They're like, Aunt, you think she was going to die in front of you? Like, she waited for you to leave the room, and that gave me a lot of closure as far as at least that moment. I'll never have closure of losing her because it's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to see the child you raised pass away.
Yeah.
It's just not part of life, but sometimes it is. But, people always say that I saved G's life, and, maybe I did sometimes, but she saved my life. And I'm the person I am because of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she made me grow up really fast. To be 20 years old, bringing her to school every day and doing that all through my 20s and 30s and bringing her to college and doing everything. But like, I miss her so much, and it's so difficult. But I do my best to live every single day, and I do my best to feel the emotions I need to feel, so I don't run away from the pain.
Yeah.
I actually take the pain head on because I feel it's important to deal with it. And I deal with it every day. There's not a day that goes by I don't shed a tear. Some days it's for 30 seconds. Some days it's for 2 hours. And, this week is exceptionally tough, being that I just ran the marathon. And, I know she was there spiritually, but, she wasn't there. The reality is she wasn't there. And I know she would be, of course.
Yeah.
And my birthday is this week. And she always took my birthday very serious, mainly because her brother's kind of a drama queen. So I always made my birthday like a national holiday. So I'm not sure if G really believes it or she just played into it for me. Probably a little of both.
Yeah.
Because like, she was an old soul. She didn't care about social media. She didn't care about her outfits like her big bro. Like, she didn't care about that stuff. Yeah. I did, So like, she always played into it, which is very funny, by the way, because she didn't care,
And one of the reasons, man, why I respect you so much is that, like, everything you do, like, you do it for her still.
Everything.